Hi, my name is Sandra Wilson and I work with misophonia, but I've also encountered and worked with a very similar condition called hyperacusis. And you might have watched my last video in which I talk about this in a bit more detail. It's in the extreme noise sensitivity family, and rather like misophonia, it can have psychological as well as physiological causes. Hyperacusis causes a lot of distress in the lives of sufferers in exactly the same way as misophonia, but it's more to do with the loudness of the sound, and in some cases sufferers actually feel the sound in their bodies. And I was able to help my client Crystal to feel so much better, and what came out of our session was very surprising. Hi, Crystal. So, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed by me today. So, can you just tell me a little bit about the condition that I was able to help you with?
Of course. And what I was experiencing was a lot of pressure in my ears. It stemmed from probably about 5 years ago. And I was noticing certain sounds were affecting me in very uncomfortable ways. It would be really sharp, painful sounds entering into my ears. They would cause a lot of discomfort. I would feel like my body was tightening up just to embrace the impact. And it was actually causing me a lot of discomfort with just ordinary everyday sounds because some of them I had no control of when they happened. And some I did. So it was almost like it was a debilitating factor to just have this issue in my ears, especially because I love music and listening is one of my greatest qualities. So it was impacting
Yeah,
my quality of life.
yeah, yeah. That sounds really difficult. Can you tell me what was the biggest frustration that you felt by having this problem? If you were to pick, a number one.
The biggest frustration I had was that everybody told me inside my ears looked fine. Everything looked healthy. So I knew this was deeper than just a physical problem that I was experiencing.
Yeah,
So I wanted to work with somebody like yourself who can get me in tune with my inner self and really dive down to see what was going on emotionally and mentally, because truly that's where I believed it stemmed from. So
yeah,
the frustration was really trying to get a true understanding of the causation and the purpose behind the issue I was experiencing and find some answers to what was going on to
mm,
get a better understanding.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so how did you feel after you had your session with me?
Mm. It was interesting because I was extremely tired after our session, so I certainly went to have a nap. I noticed almost immediately I felt very unbalanced, really off. I did feel the pressure during our session release from my ears, which was amazing. And the next day, I started feeling really nauseous and had an
Yeah,
upset stomach. And I know I didn't really eat anything outside of the norm. So I knew it was just a lot of changes happening within us because,
mm,
as I recall, our session was pretty intense.
yeah,
So it was a lot of physical sensations I felt,
yeah,
and it took a couple days to just uh, neutralize.
yeah. So, what is life like now,
Hmm,
um, after working with me?
that's a great question. I felt like I was getting emotional there because it's all good stuff. I feel much more confident in my own self. I have a greater understanding of the purpose behind this issue I had, which was really stepping into my own power and feeling confident within myself. And now I understand why it was there. It was there to remind me to be
Yeah,
myself and to
yeah,
confidently feel myself in my own skin and to really embrace that.
Yeah.
So it comes up sometimes when it's knows that I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
So it does creep in every so often
Yeah.
because it's telling me, "Hey, Crystal, you're not being Crystal. You're going back to the same behavior traits." So it's a reminder to um, really embrace what I know now versus going back into the past programming that didn't work for me. And it's really given me the confidence and the wherewithal to feel good about myself and to really put myself back out there, especially with what I'm trying to do for business, and
Yeah.
really show up as the true person that I feel inside of me of who I am.
Wow. And were you expecting any of this to come out of our session?
You know, I was coming in for the issue. I certainly didn't think it was going to be tied to that. But understanding it now and
Yeah.
understanding why my body came up with it now, it
Yeah.
uh, it's almost like you know, but you didn't know because you didn't want it to be that way. But it's better
Mm.
knowing now that this is what it's there for and that
Yeah.
I have the ability to counter it at any time.
Yeah. So it's just amazing, isn't it, the way our subconscious minds communicate with us, and they want
Yeah.
to draw our attention to something. Yeah. And I bet
It's
you had no idea that this was what it would be.
You know, you're
Yes.
drawing my attention right now to what a incredible session that was and how you reminded me how patient to be with myself because you were very patient with me, allowing myself to move through the stages of whatever I had to go through to get to
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
state now. So that was extremely helpful, teaching me in a sense to embrace and harness patience because you gave me that in our session.
Wow. Well, I'm so pleased, so happy to hear you say this. And I would like to say thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed by me, Crystal. I hoped you enjoyed watching that interview. And if it resonates with you, or if you have any similar sounding symptoms and you would like to know more, or perhaps book a call with me to see how I might be able to help you too, just use the link to book if you're on YouTube or Instagram, or you can just DM me. And if you're watching through another platform such as Facebook or LinkedIn, again, it's best to just DM me. Okay, thank you for watching.